Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is Joel here to give you today's money code fix. And as you can see on the screen here, it says Experian incorrect residential information, $22 million class action settlement. Now, hopefully you've already subscribed and hopefully you already saw the videos that I've been doing for the last several months. We've already discussed how the credit bureaus have been on some shady mess, right? We've been talking about how the CFPBs is trying to go ahead and put them in check, the new scoring models, the credit bureaus, how the algorithm is going to be changing. I want to show you guys everything that we've been talking about over the last several months, even years. It's all going to culminate into this particular video because this particular class action settlement, specifically with Experian, because they're on some shady stuff again, well, allegedly on some shady stuff again. I want to show you how they're moving. I'm going to show you how we need to protect ourselves, how we need to position ourselves. Then I'm going to show you how to go to the official website and to sign up for this class action settlement. So get locked in because I'm going to be going over quite a bit of information. But at the end, you're going to see why this all ties into everything we've been talking about on this channel. All right, so boom. So you can see here, we're on the website, top class actions. Specifically today, we're going to be talking about Experian. So Experian incorrect residential information, $22 million class action settlement. So Experian agreed to pay $22.45 million as part of a settlement to resolve claims that incorrectly reported residential information as high risk. So now let's pause right here. So why is residential information, your address, why would that be considered high risk? So if you've been subscribed to this channel, you should know the answer to this. Your residential information, actually all of your personal information, the spelling of your name, your address, the type of account that you have on your account, the algorithms, whether it be Vantage 4.0 that we just did a video on that last week, whether it be FICO 10T, whether it be the private systems that some of these banks and credit unions have. They're looking for any little thing that may cause a red flag to trigger. So one of those red flags is if you have an address, or if you have multiple addresses, that's a red flag. If you have an address that is on your credit profile that isn't necessarily a residential address, maybe it's zoned as a business, that is something that they do not like. That's another red flag. They won't accept you using a P.O. box. You may have noticed that some credit unions and banks, they won't let you use a P.O. box on the application. They're looking for any little inconsistency, any little red flag to basically deny you the credit. So the settlement benefits two classes. So there's two classes here, the policy change class and the money class. So who are the policy change class? They are made up of consumers for whom Experian sent a consumer report to a third party since September 27th, 2017, where the report contained an inaccurate fraud shield indicator, indicating that the consumer's address was either high risk. So now if you don't know what this fraud shield indicator is, let's go over to Experian's website. Let's see. Fraud shield, a comprehensive series of checks, searches, and counters to screen every application. Again, remember I told you, every single bank, every single lender, the reason why they're coming out with new scoring models, the reason why they go from FICO 8 to FICO 9 to FICO 10 to FICO 10T to Vantage 3 to Vantage 4, every new scoring model, they're getting smarter, they're getting more sophisticated. The way that these computer programmers put the system together, the banks are loving it because they can pinpoint anything. Right? It's going to help them to be able to spot scammers, people trying to finesse the banks, people that's trying to defraud the banks. That's what these systems are looking for. Using predictive cross-checking with Experian's robust consumer credit database, Fraud Shield returns a set of indicators that describe high-risk characteristics. So this is Experian telling the banks and the credit unions, hey, this is a red flag. You may not want to give money to this person. Or hey, this is a red flag. You may have to do manual underwriting for this person. You may need to just deny this person. This is what the credit bureaus, the influence the credit bureaus have when you're trying to get a loan. And this is also why I tell you, you want to make sure your credit profile is clean. No misspellings, no duplicates, no addresses from 15 years ago. You want to make sure your stuff is clean because these systems, this fraud shield technology that Experian is doing, that they have in their system, anything that is just off, they're going to flag it in this credit card, this loan. We're going to get to that in a second. Once the computer systems pick that up, you just got denied, right? Let's go back. So we talked about the policy change class. So that's basically the people that if you went ahead and you tried to do a credit card application, let's say you tried to apply for a Bank of America credit card, Bank of America reached out to Experian, Experian gave Bank of America the red flag and said, whoa, watch out. And then Bank of America basically denied you, or they did a manual review for you. What about the money class? Because that's the second class here. The money class includes consumers affected by Experian's Fraud Shield indicator, we just went over that, who contacted Experian between July 1st, 2018 and July 31st, 2021 to inquire about or dispute a non-residential or high-risk indicator. You can see here the money class is a little bit more elevated. It's more egregious, because if you're in the money class, that means you looked at your credit report, you saw the flag that Experian put on your credit profile, and you called them up or you sent them a letter and you said, hey, what's this about? What do you mean that my address is not in a residential district? Or what do you mean that it's a high-risk address? What do you mean by that, Experian? So those people, the money class, or the people that saw that, noticed it, reached out to Experian to get them to correct it, and then they ignored you, right? That's why they're the money class. Now, here's why this video is very important. Here's why I always go back to check your credit profiles, get credit monitoring, make sure that you're staying on top of all three of your credit bureaus, make sure that you're disputing, make sure you're sending stuff out certified mail. I'm going to show you here in this next paragraph how it's actually impacting real life people. Plaintiffs in the Experian class action lawsuit say the wrongfully reported Experian Fraud Shield indicator caused them financial harm due to denied credit opportunities. One plaintiff said in her mortgage modification was derailed when Experian reported her home address was a business building. So you can see in this particular instance, someone was probably trying to refinance their mortgage. I'm not sure what they were trying to do, specifically, but because of this red flag that Experian flagged her with and put on her credit profile, that mistake caused her to not be able to refinance her mortgage, or basically whatever she was trying to do with her lender. It might have been an emergency that she needed the money to pull out that equity. You never know in these instances. So that's why I'm always telling you guys, always pay attention to your credit profile. One little mistake can cause you the mortgage that you want, the dream house that you want, the car that you want. Anything dealing with credit, your credit profile is everything. Experian hasn't admitted any wrongdoing, but agreed to a $22.45 million class action settlement to resolve these allegations. So basically, they now have to pony up over $22 million to people they have affected because essentially they were lazy, or allegedly lazy, in not going in and looking into people's credit profiles and verifying the information that needed to be verified. So basically, they're in trouble once again. This is not new. Every credit bureau has had some sort of controversy or shadiness or some sort of settlement that they had to do because they weren't doing things the way they needed to be done. Under the terms of the Experian settlement, members of the money class can receive a cash payment. Exact payments will vary depending on the number of class members who participate in the settlement and the amount deducted from the settlement fund. Because as always, the attorneys that's going to be handling this whole settlement, they got to get their money first, and we know how that's going to be. Also, here's another thing. Last time I did a video about a settlement, I went ahead and I posted it on the channel. Some people were upset saying, oh, why am I posting about this settlement? It's going to reduce the amount that people are getting. Number one, it is what it is, because I post this content not for just the monetary gain or the monetary value that either I'm going to get or may go out to some of these people that are watching. It's more so to basically substantiate the information and the claims and the lessons that I'm trying to beat over you guys' head over and over again with how to deal with these credit bureaus. When the credit bureaus, when these lenders, when these financial institutions, when they're doing some shady business, when they're doing things that are out of pocket, we have to hold them accountable. We as consumers, we have to hold them accountable. So if we don't, they're going to continue to do these shady practices. They're going to continue to take advantage of consumers. Hopefully you saw the video I did on Wells Fargo and their shady underwriting practices against minorities. Anytime I see something that is against how consumers need to be treated, I got to put a spotlight on that. Otherwise, I'm not doing my job here as a content creator. According to the settlement website, payments could be between $300 and $900. So now let's go over to the next website. I'm on a website called fraudshieldsettlement.com. According to the notice you received, click on the link below to go to your settlement class website. There was the first class, which was the policy change settlement class, and then there was the money settlement class. I don't know if anything has been sent out by snail mail or by email. If you have more information on this in particular, please go down in the comments. Let us know how you got communicated with. The last settlement video that I did, some of y'all said that y'all got emails. Other people said you guys got notices in the mail. Let us know how they're communicating the notice with this particular settlement. But if you qualify for this, whether it be the policy change settlement or the money settlement, apparently they're going to specify that in that notice that they give you. Right, so let's click on one of them. All right, so now this page is basically going to go over everything that I just summed up. All the information, all the details are here. I'm not going to go in depth here on this page. You pretty much have the gist of what's going on. The due date is January 30th, 2023. You have about 2 months to go ahead and submit that claim if you got that notice, right? So you got a little bit of time to go ahead and do your due diligence. All right, scroll back up, file a claim. And now you see here the claim form. It's saying we need the notice ID and we need the confirmation code. That I do not have to provide for you. If you get anything in the mail, if you get anything via email, let us know in the comments. If I hear anything else, I'm going to go ahead and do a update video about this just to keep you abreast of what's going on. But that's basically it, right? This is basically the gist of what's going on. All right, so make sure you go ahead and you bookmark this website, fraudshieldsettlement.com. Make sure to go ahead and subscribe to this channel. I'm going to continue to give you guys updates when I see stuff going on in the industry, when I see things that's going to be impacting our borrowing power, how we go ahead and qualify for loans, anything that's funny. I got to put it out there for you guys. I always tell you guys the credit bureaus are not our friends. You have to stay on top of your credit reports. You got to stay on top of your credit profile. Nobody is going to do it for you. All right, guys, that's it. Hope you got a couple of gems from this, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a blessed one. Peace.